Welcome to So Much to Talk About, pregame version of the show. Utah Jazz visiting New York Knickerbockers. It's my pleasure to have head coach Tyrone Corbin. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How you doing?
Everything's well, thank you. Everything's well. I'm very impressed with the front court for your team. You know, of course, you have Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson or potential all-stars, but you have young big men, Enes Kanter and Derek Favors, with unlimited potential. Talk about grade their progress so far and how they're really learning under those two.
Well, they've done a tremendous job so far this year of getting better every night out. They came into camp with their ears and eyes wide open to learn as much as they could from the guys in front of them, and Paul and Al. And they've been able to play together on the floor because they continue to expand their games. They work on the things we talk about working on in practice. They put the individual time in with the development coaches to understand that they have to get better in certain areas, and they've shown that on the floor.
The point guard position has been inconsistent so far this season. And the Jazz, you guys have a 13-9 record. You're in the midst of a playoff spot. So talk about how the point guard play can improve and how that can really help get your record to get better.
Well, you say inconsistent. You must be thinking about numbers. We're not looking for our point guard to score a lot of points. They're making the right basketball plays. They've done a tremendous job of just making the right plays for the teammates, pushing the tempo of the team that's favorable to us. They've done a good job for us, so we'll continue to work at it, but we don't want guys looking for numbers. We want to make the right basketball play.
One more question. You're a former player. What advice do you share with your players and something that really has resonated with them and has shown on the court?
Well, you got to take care of your body, especially in a shortened season with so many different games in such a short amount of time. You have to make sure you take care of your body, get your rest, do the extra work to get treatment and those things on it, and take care of yourself on the road because the game's going to come fast in a hurry.
Coach, thank you for your time. Have a good game.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure to have a wily veteran, one of the best defensive players of our era, Mr. Rajah Bell. Pleasure to have you on the show.
I appreciate that, dog. High praise.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And talk about the type of leadership that you bring to this young team, you know, especially with Gordon and Derek and also Enes. You know, talk about, like, the things you've learned and how you've been able to pay it forward to them and how it's translated on the court.
Yeah, well, you know, first it starts with having good young fellas that want to learn and you know, are interested in getting better. And this is as good a crop as I've been around. So, but you know, I was kind of taught early. I had good vets, man. I had Aaron McKees and Eric Snows and you know, guys like that who just they led by example. It wasn't necessarily talk. You know, you go out there and you play hard and you know you try to pay attention to detail, do what someone asks you to do to the best of your ability, and then you hope that people, you know, see that and try to act accordingly. But preaching is never a way to get across to someone. You got to show.
Coach D'Antoni, you're playing against him. What has he done for your career, and what are you looking forward to say to him if you haven't spoken to him today?
You know, it's always good to catch up with Mike. Mike was, you know, one of my favorites, and you know, I can't put into words what he and his staff were able to do for my career. I mean, first and foremost, they gave me, you know, the biggest contract I've had in my NBA career and the biggest opportunity to prove to myself and everyone else that I could contribute in a big way. And so, you know, for that I'll be eternally grateful. And the confidence that he and his staff showed in me and you know, that team kind of allowed me to spread my wings a little bit and have a little bit more of myself.
Talk about, you know, which players have you learned from, you know, when you, like, well, you mentioned a couple players that you learned from, but talk about, too, like, here with Utah, like, with this potential playoff berth, you know, like, talk about what are things you guys have to really improve on and maintain for you guys to make that maybe a 6, 7 race.
Yeah, well, you know, I think defense is where it starts with us. We're a young team, and we can be erratic offensively at times. So, you know, you can't always control that, but defensively you can come out and you can, you know, execute defensively, if you will. Pay attention to detail, make your assignment happen every time down the court, and if you can do that, then you stand a chance to win ball games, whether your offense is clicking or not. Offensively, I think at times we tend to get stagnant. You know, teams throw a lot of zones at us, and we get confused by it. But you know, that'll sort itself out as we continue to play and we log more minutes together. And so I expect that to get better. But I think defensively and being a tough team that other teams don't like to play against is kind of going to have to be our calling card.
I have to ask you, you and Kobe had that heavy rivalries, you know. Like, is it all good with you? It wasn't personal, right?
I mean, it was personal then.
Okay.
I can't lie to you, brother. But now we're good. You know, he's you know, I think once we had a little bit of time, there was a little bit of perspective that kind of came with that, and we both understand that that's just competition, man. That's probably the best scorer in the league, and my job is to try to make his night as difficult as possible. And so with that, tempers are going to flare, and there's going to be some chippiness. But you know, at the time, I think we both took it personal. But now we're cool. Yeah.
FIU. Disappointing that, I mean, Isaiah Thomas, like, taking over, like, what's going on? Like, how come they haven't really progressed?
I don't know, but I can't answer that question. But, you know, I played with those guys in the summertime. I've been around what Isaiah's trying to do, and you know, they've got some talent. You know, I think that he's done. He's recruited as he does everywhere he's gone, and you know, I know his addition to FIU has meant a lot to them, despite maybe, you know, the record. You know, they've been able to do some things with the arena, and just the exposure that they've gotten has been big for them. And so I hope that they can turn it around and start to win some games, and you know, I always pull for them.
Thank you for your time. Pleasure to talk with you. Always respected the way you played this game, and look forward to seeing you tonight.
You got it, bro. Thanks.
Greetings. Welcome to So Much to Talk About. Pre-game version of the show, Utah Jazz at the New York Knicks. My pleasure to have a man that should be an all-star, should be playing this year in Orlando, Mr. Al Jefferson, center for the Jazz. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just getting focused, get ready for the game.
Talk about, now you had a horrific knee injury, you know, when you were at the zenith of your career, and now you're getting back up there. Like, I'm talking about the mental and physical preparation and hard work you had to put in to get back to the level you're at.
It was a long road, man. You know, that knee injury take a lot out of you, but you gotta dedicate yourself, your time. You know, you gotta have a mental mind, the rehab, and get back to where you're at. And once you do get back on the court, it'll still take another year to get back comfortable and get that confidence back. So it was a long road for me, man. But you know, I felt like I got back there. Hooked up with P3 out there in Santa Barbara. They really took me to another level as far as my injury, and I feel good.
Talk about what are the things you've learned, especially this year, because Jazz 13-9, they're in the midst of a playoff hunt, and you're the leader of the team. And talk about how you've been able to influence young front court guys like Ennis Cantor and Derek Favors.
Well, man, they made it easy for me, man. They good listener. They hungry. You know, Big Turkey. I call him Big Turkey. And Derek Favors, you know, them guys, man, they want to learn. They, you know, they got mad respect for me and my game, and I got mad respect for them. So it's kind of like, you know, we feed off each other. You know, I done learned a lot from them, believe it or not. You know, I would never tell them that, but they made it easy for me. You know, when every time I grab them and try to work with them, they ready to do it, and you can see them using it in the game. So, you know, it's an honor to play with them young boys, man.
Looking forward to hopefully spending the rest of your career in Utah.
Oh yeah, man, I love Utah, man. I love the fans. I love the way they do things, and yeah, if I had it my way, yes, I would be there the rest of my career.
Question: the 2004 class is just turned out to be one of the best ever, with Rudy Gay, yourself, LaMarcus Aldridge, Gerald Smith, Josh Smith, and of course Big D12. So. Wow, isn't it great that all of you excelled in the league, and talk about the stories that you guys still share when you play against each other?
Well, you know, I would tell me and Paul Pierce used to argue about this when I was in Boston, that we had the best class. Yeah,
It was pretty tight.
It was tight, but I said in the long run, we're going to have the best class. You know? So I'm not surprised, man. It was, man, playing against them boys in AAU and in the league, I knew them boys going to be what they are, you know, and we, you know, we always talk about the Matt Donald All-American games and the Jordan Classic games. So it's been a fun ride, man.
Which one did you enjoy more, the Jordan Classic at MSG or the game in where was the game that was in Georgia, right? Oklahoma.
I like the Matt Donald All-American game because it was a battle. The practice was amazing. The practice was better than the game. Yeah, so I love the Oklahoma game for sure.
Tell for running those pick and rolls well.
Yeah, it was wonderful, man. It was wonderful. So it was a lot of good memories, man. A lot of good memories. It seemed like it was. Oof, I didn't realize 8 years ago.
Flies too fast, you know. Tell me about it.
I know, right? Time going by fast, but it was fun, man. It's fun to sit back and look at them old days, man, because we came a long way.
Al, thank you for your time. Have a great game, rest of the season, and hope you guys can make the playoffs for sure.